We live.
Yo.
We back.
Yo, look at this shit, man.
New setup. Y'all know how we coming.
Shit looks healthy.
This the flight show. I think we got a little budget now, Tyler. I don't know where the bread coming from, but I think we got a little budget now.
Yeah, you see it though.
We gonna have to turn up real quick. What's going on, everybody?
Man.
We back, another week, another pod. Y'all know how we do. What's good, Tyler? New week. What's going on?
Shit, nothing, man. Same shit. Actually tapped in. I just seen a new Ant-Man movie the other day.
Word.
That shit was cool. A lot of people. I've been seeing a lot of people. They was saying like their mixed reviews about it. They was saying like it's this, not, and a third. But I'm gonna give it like a good like 7 out of 10. It was a good movie.
Word. I know you fuck with the Marvel shit.
Yeah,
heavy.
bro. I fuck with the Marvel shit heavy. My favorite part of the movie. No spoilers. Who haven't seen it, but my favorite part of the movie. Jonathan Majors.
Word.
The one who's playing in Creed.
Yeah, he been turning up.
Yeah, he's had a couple other movies too. I think he had another movie before Ant-Man too. It was something good, but yeah, he's a great actor. So
yeah, he was in Harder They Fall.
Yeah, Harder They Fall, and then now he was in some other movie, like it was like a plane movie or something.
Yeah. I didn't see it, but I know which one you're talking about.
I seen the clips of it, but I seen him in it. But he's a real good dude, real good actor. But the movie was cool. I'm a big Marvel fan at heart, so I mean, recently they haven't really been putting out like crazy good movies. Like it's been very mid. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been catching up to. Some music's dropping soon. Don Toliver's dropping. My boy Yeet is dropping. I know you don't really fuck with Yeet like that.
I mean, I'm trying to keep up, but you showing my age now because I can't really keep. I know who he is, but like I'm not tapped in like how I should be.
Nah, I fuck with Yeet heavy. He's more. I feel like my generation of music now is just so different. It's so different from like the previous generations. But what's going on with you, James?
Shit, another week, another grind. Doing some renovations in the shop. We upped our setup for the pod. That's about it. Getting ready for spring.
Yeah.
So, just stocking up the store. Ton of new pieces dropping this week. Ton of stuff coming. Weather's looking good. So,
yeah.
Well, I think Thursday we're supposed to get some snow, but besides that, it's looking like it's gonna start being warmer consistently.
Knock on wood too. Like so far for the whole winter, we haven't really had a bad winter though. Yeah. We had some snow days and ice days, but it hasn't been like bad though. But like I said, knock on wood, hopefully we don't get nothing crazy. But we're about to be in that part of the year where like March is next month and stuff. So, we're coming up. And I mean, I'm excited for the spring. My birthday's in the spring, so I'm definitely excited.
Word.
But that's pretty much what's going on. There was this good movie coming out too. I wanted to put you on too. It's called 65.
Okay.
It's called 65. And from the clips I've been seeing, it's like it's not based off of nothing. It's just like a normal movie. I think it's about this dude. He's in the future and he's time traveling, and he goes back back in time to where like dinosaurs are. It's something wild. I gotta catch up back on it.
I think I seen the preview.
That shit looks fire.
Yeah,
that shit looks real fire. That's like definitely my type of speed. But yeah, I definitely say that's a good movie. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it seems like March is like movie season.
It is.
It seems like mad stuff is dropping. Creed's coming out.
Yeah.
What else is coming out?
Creed's coming out.
What's the DC movie coming out?
Oh, Flash.
I'm
not personally like I'm a Marvel fan at heart. Like DC, like I feel like DC superheroes and villains are like personally like a little bit more creative than Marvel. But I feel like with DC, like their production, like how they cast people, like they don't have a good casting sometimes. I feel like they pick kind of the people that really wouldn't be at the right moment. But yeah, I mean that new Flash is cool. I'm not a big fan of that actor playing him. If you ever watched the Flash TV show, I forgot his name. I think his name's Grant Gustin. He plays the Flash. He's been playing the Flash TV show for like long, like about 8 years or so, maybe even longer. But he's been playing that for a while, and I feel like he's a better actor. But that's probably my only like gift with like DC is just I feel like they didn't really cast like good people.
Yeah. DC. I mean, obviously they're known for Batman. Mm-hmm. What else is under DC?
Really, there's Batman, Superman, Flash. Pretty much. There's a lot of like superheroes. Let me ask you this real quick. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Who's your favorite, like top 3 superheroes?
I'm trying to think. To be honest, I never was really a Superman fan. I was always a Batman fan. and then I would have to say, this is one you probably not gonna know, but Static Shock.
That sounds familiar, but
Static Shock, look him up. He had a show back in the day. I was younger, like 10, 11 years old, but Static Shock was like, he was like the wave. He basically, like, his powers was like electricity, and he had like a crazy like board that he could fly on.
Word?
Yeah, Static Shock was one of them growing up. And then trying to think. See, I wasn't really on the Marvel. Like, Marvel was like, at least with the movies, it was a little bit later.
Yeah.
For me. But I like the Marvel characters, but I'm gonna say I probably have to go with Hulk.
Hulk, yeah.
Yeah, Hulk was just like whenever a Hulk movie came out or anything Hulk, like nobody can mess with him at all.
And it's sad too, cause like all my Marvel fans will know what I'm talking about, but like the early 2000s Hulk, I forgot the actor, but the early 2000s Hulk, he was like, how they portrayed that Hulk, he was fire. Like, he was just the Hulk. He was acting like the Hulk. Like, the recent like Marvel Hulk, how they portray him, like he wears like sweaters now, and shit, and he wears glasses. It's like, it's
a little more commercial.
It's a little commercial.
Not to cut you off,
You're
but good. I was big on not anybody specifically, but I was big on X-Men. X-Men was a wave.
Nah, I gotta tap into X-Men. I know a lot of people that watch it.
Like, before, like the Marvel movies with everybody in it, it was basically X-Men. They did like two or three X-Men movies, and like they was all kind of fire.
I got you.
So you definitely gotta go review that one for sure.
I've seen like a lot of people saying like X-Men is real good. I've watched all the Marvel movies, but like the X-Men movies, and I gotta just watch them. But it's just like, there's mad of them.
Yeah,
there's like 4 or 5 of them or something like that, or maybe more.
I want to say it's 5.
5? Yeah,
it's at least 4, but 4 or 5 for sure.
I gotta tap into them, because that's like recently how they're how the Marvel production, like how they're kind of, so the first like couple phases they're really like focusing on like that universe, and now they're kind of leaning towards more like the multiverse. Yeah. It's like multiversal, like different superheroes from different universes, but I think they're leaning towards that new mutant, that not new because it's been out for a while, but the mutant franchise, and especially because I don't know if you've seen it, but I don't know why they have a tendency of doing this. I think it was like Disney or Sony, they announced the new Deadpool movie, this third one, but it's gonna have Wolverine in it.
Okay.
So they're kind of bringing in that little mutant.
So yeah, you definitely gotta go back and review then, cause
I got to.
Literally, X-Men, like obviously it's more than one character, but X-Men movies were like good because of Wolverine.
Yeah, Wolverine's a dog. Like the clips I be seeing, he's a dog. I gotta watch the movies though. But if I were to pick my top 3 superheroes, my first one, I feel like not a lot of people will like. I mean, I'm not gonna say like it's different, but it's like not a lot of people's first choice. I'm gonna say Ghost Rider, bro.
Yeah, Ghost Rider was good.
Ghost Rider is different.
There's like a ton of like good superhero movies, but it's just kind of like who you fucked with, like personally, and then you lock into like the series or like whatever movies they came out with. But I remember like X-Men was always big. I went to go see all the Supermans, but I just wasn't really, because Superman was like before my time.
Yeah,
that's like our parents'
He's
time.
like one of the first superhero like comics.
Yeah, so like Superman, like the newer ones were good, but like you got to go back and watch like the 70s. I think it was the 70s or the 60s the first one came out. That's one like my dad made me go and tap into that one. That one was good, and then I watched like all the newer ones.
Yeah, like personally, like Superman's cool, like the idea, but he's just like, he's kind of overrated
with the movies. Like Superman is fire.
No, the idea is fire.
They didn't do the best job with the movies, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have went a different route or made them a little bit better. There's a couple that are decent, but like if you compare like Superman to like all the Marvel movies, it's kind of like Marvel just kind of did their thing.
Yeah, but my top 3 is gonna be Ghost Rider. I'm gonna put Batman my number 2 because Batman's tough, and then my number 3 spot is hard. It's probably gonna be between Iron Man and Spider-Man, but I'm probably gonna put Spider-Man my number 3. So I'm gonna go Ghost Rider, Batman, and Spider-Man. But yeah, when I was like younger, before I was watching really like the Marvel movies, I used to watch like the Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
So when he used to play the Ghost Rider, bro, like the idea is fire. Like, dude, like riding a motorcycle on flames with a skull on fire. You can eat bullets and stuff. It's the idea is sick.
You know, like Ghost Rider was definitely fire, but you know what? Another one that was fire. I don't know. I guess you can still consider a superhero Terminator.
Yeah.
Did you see all of those, or
I didn't see
like clips of them?
I didn't see all the Terminators. To be honest with you, this might be like a crazy statement. I've never watched a Terminator movie like start to finish. I feel like I've always seen a Terminator like. I either watch it like from the half point on or like the beginning to the half. I never like watched a full Terminator. I know the idea, but I never watched.
You got Terminator because Arnold Schwarzenegger he was on it.
Yeah.
So you got Terminator, and then was that before or after? And then you got RoboCop.
Oh, I forgot about RoboCop.
Yeah, he was RoboCop. I think RoboCop was before Terminator.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, I think it is.
But yeah, because Terminator is more 90s. RoboCop was like late 80s, early 90s.
RoboCop is fire though.
Yeah, RoboCop, Terminator. Trying to think. The older Batman movies were very good.
Yeah.
Like the new ones that they're making, they're cool. They're getting like great actors. But like Batman, when it was Batman, Robin, Catwoman, when they had like all of them, Mr. Freeze, when they had all of them in there, like the 90s ones, it was like unstoppable.
Batman's tough. Personally, who would you think like would win in a fight though? Like Batman or Iron Man?
Probably Iron Man, just because he has the suit.
Yeah,
he got like mad shit, but the suit is basically like protecting him.
Yeah, I feel like it's a hard one though, because like
Batman is like he's strong, but he's just like he's still like a normal person.
Yeah, but you gotta think about it. Batman, like Bruce Wayne, is probably just as rich as Tony Stark. They're both like billionaires or trillionaires or whatever.
But Tony Stark got that. He got the shit in his chest. So it's like,
but it's slow.
Batman doesn't really have a real superpower.
His wealth is his superpower. That's really what it is. His
connections and knowing like where, like who's connected to who, and like, oh, I gotta go get this person.
See, Batman's the type of dude though. Like he's the type of dude like he's not gonna try to swing at you broad daylight. He's gonna catch you lacking. Like,
oh yeah,
he's gonna catch you.
Just pull up on you.
He's gonna catch you lacking. Like you taking groceries out. Oh yeah, at nighttime he got you.
Yeah,
at nighttime. And like if you get an altercation with Batman, and you got no protection. It's over. He's putting you down.
Yeah.
But I feel like Batman would win. I don't know. I just feel like if some Batman's mad smart too. So like if somehow Batman gets Iron Man out the suit, it's over. But that's what I think.
Yeah, Batman was cool. Iron Man. Shit. I'm trying to think. Actually, I forgot to say this. My favorite superhero of all time is Ninja Turtles. That's like the first thing I like. Like that was like the first superhero, like, you know what I mean, type of movie that I seen. So like that's like number one. And then like shit, I fucked with Power Rangers heavy. Like the original Power Rangers, not all the spin-offs that they did.
I wasn't a huge fan of Power Rangers when I was growing up. I feel like it was like the idea was cool, but how they like portray that shit, it was like kind of corny.
Yeah, but see, you probably seen like the second or third spin-off. You got to go back and watch the original Power Rangers, the 90s Power Rangers movie, the original one with the Black Ranger and the White Ranger. Because like later on, they chopped it down to like four or five of them. It's really like, how many is it? It's 7 of them. No. 7 or 9, but don't quote me. But
I got you.
The original, like, go watch the original Power Rangers from start to finish, and you'll be like, oh, okay. That's like the best perspective of Power Rangers. Like everything else later, it just got like too technical, and like they switch up. You know how they do now.
They switch up like stuff like that. Yeah.
So like you got to go back like and watch. Like obviously some of the remakes and some of the sequels are still good, but you got to go back and watch the original of like every one.
Yeah.
You got to go watch the 70s Hulk movie. You get what I'm saying? Like you gotta go watch those, and then like you'll like appreciate the newer ones more. Yeah, because it's like, oh, okay, I seen the original. That's how I always try to do with movies. Like I seen a lot of the originals, and then like now I gotta watch some of the sequels and the remakes. It's just like when we was talking about Star Wars. You didn't know that 4, 5, and 6 came out first, and then 1, 2, and 3 came out.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's like you got to go back and watch those first ones. Like my dad was big on that. He always made me like go watch. Like nah, you gotta watch this one, then go watch that.
Nah,
one.
But that's like the right way to do it though. I feel like people like jump around and they don't understand like the franchise. It's like nah, you gotta. That's why I really appreciate Marvel heavy, because like I watched it like beginning and to where we're at now. Like people nowadays, it's like a culture where people just jump in and watch popular movies and put their opinion on it.
You know what else? The thing is that like the original movie is always based off of like the book or the original cartoon.
Yeah.
So that's like the first time that a director put together the story that you read about or saw in the cartoon. So that's why it's good, to see the first movies too, because that's like probably the closest. It's like Harry Potter.
Bro, you beat me right to it.
Harry Potter is the closest to the book.
I was just about to say Harry Potter.
You know what I mean? And I didn't read all the books before the movies, but I read the book first and then saw the movies.
Yeah, because if you think about it, when J.K. Rowling, that's how Harry Potter got on the big screen. The books came obviously before the movies, but the books had to be fired to make it into a movie. So like, you feel me? Like, it got to make sense. But Harry Potter, I was telling you, I just finished watching Harry Potter like a couple months ago, like all of them, bro.
Yeah.
And I
see, now with the game out, you appreciate it more because you've seen all the movies.
I appreciate the game a lot more, but I appreciate the hype around Harry Potter. Harry Potter's fire.
Yeah, so like shit like that, like you gotta go. I'm not a big book reader, but like at least any type of movie that comes out, I try to go back and watch the original version of that movie. Because a lot of people don't know, like, a lot of the movies that are coming out, like, people don't know that Batman been out for so long. Superman's been out since the 70s or 80s was the first movie. Like, Hulk has like a 70s or 80s movie. So it's like, you got to go back and watch those. Obviously, they don't look as good as now, but like, if you really like fuck with it and you're locked in, you got to watch the original.
You're going to appreciate it more too, because you've seen where they started with it and then where they kind of are ending, or not even ending, but where they're at now with it. But I've been on that Harry the Hogwarts Legacy. Everyone's been playing it recently too. That shit's fire, bro.
I gotta tap in. I just got the PS5, so I'm still. I gotta set it up, and like how I do, like I'll get something, and then I don't want to just set it up and rush it. I want to like, all right,
take your time.
Yeah, like set it up, get everything together, and then I can sit down and really like lock in.
Yeah, I've been playing that shit recently. Big Slytherin. Shout out Slytherin gang. But I'm big Slytherin. I'm very misunderstood. Like, he's very how do I describe my wizard? What's his name? Something Drake. Something stupid weird.
Yeah, you showed me your wizard. Your broom was kind of wilding though. I don't know. You're gonna have to work on the gear and the setup a little bit.
Nah, but that new Hogwarts Legacy game's fire. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with movies wise. Like, superhero movies haven't really been that crazy, but
what you think about Creed? You think it's gonna be decent? You think they're gonna mess it up? Or
see,
because sometimes when they get great actors, it's the hype of it is good. I think it's gonna be good. I'm not saying it's not gonna be good. I think it's gonna be great, but I want to see where they go with it, because everybody's like, all right, well, who's gonna lose? You know what I mean?
That's where I'm kind of at too, because like it's about Adonis Creed, right? He's a boxer, and it's like how many movies are going to do where he keeps winning? You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, are they going to show a movie where he loses and then like the stakes are even higher? Or,
well, I feel
what I'm trying to say? Like,
I have a feeling he's going to lose just because, like, if you go back and watch the Rocky movies, was it one or two? I know Rocky lost at least one of his movies.
Yeah, he did.
So like they build it up and you think he's going to win. And then like even Karate Kid, he lost.
Yeah.
So I just have a feeling like this one, he's going to like lose, and it's going to be more about like them squashing their friendship or squashing the past. It's not really going to be about the fight's going to be good, but I feel like the build up is for the fight, but I feel like the outcome is not about the fight, if that makes sense.
I feel like I haven't really been too like I've watched all the Creed movies, but I'm not like invested like where like, okay, going off the history of this, that, and the third. I'm just looking at it from like a movie perspective. But I feel like, I mean, yeah, you got great actors in there. The franchise so far has been really good. I feel like it's gonna be good. I feel like it's gonna be a good movie. I'm really interested in seeing who's losing. I feel like they're still gonna have Adonis Creed win in the movie, but I feel like it's gonna be a good movie overall.
Or do you think this is gonna be his last movie, or do you think they're gonna do a Creed 4, or like what do you think?
I feel like,
what do you think the move's gonna be after this one?
My point of view on the movies and franchises is that like if you're like for the people who make these franchises, it's always best to make a movie that ends well. You know, like I hate when movie companies just drag it on. Like I love Jurassic Park, but I feel like a couple of those movies, bro, they just dragged it on way too long.
Like the last two, I feel like weren't really necessary. Like the last one when they did the park, that one wasn't like needed, and then wasn't just one just came out or about to come out?
No, one just came out when it was about, because basically with them, it's like now the dinosaurs are off the island, and now they're like in the street, and then the like most recent one's about like they're like out and about, and it's their new domain. It's
they're
like
kind of just dragging it now.
yeah, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like if they have a real good ending for this third one, I feel like they should end it off here. Like 3 movies, just
it's just a lot of movies that they remake and they try to like update it to the current the current world, and it's like, bro, certain movies just gotta be left alone. Like I hate all the Star Wars spinoffs. Like I'm done. Like, bro, I watched 4, 5, and 6 came out first, and then 1, 2, and 3.
See, the problem with that is, though, I feel like I know the problem. I feel like the franchises, like the idea of making movies is to tell a story. That's the overall idea. Tell a good crafted story. But I feel like the franchises nowadays are too focused on just getting more revenue. Let's just drag it. Let's just not focus on making a good story, and let's just focus on making this franchise last another 5 to 6 to 10 years, so we can keep this residual money coming in. Yeah, I feel like that's my point of view on that.
They sell the movie tickets, and they redo merch, they redo toys, they redo all types of stuff. So I mean, I understand this a business, but like at my age, just like seeing a lot of these movies, the first ones of the movies, like in the 90s, it's like now, like it's like, bro, I'm not going to see all these sequels, bro. I'm not. Like the whole thing with Space Jam, you know what I mean? I know that was a money grab.
That was definitely a money grab.
Everybody knows that was for bread, but it's like you should have just left that one alone.
That's one of those things where I like LeBron, but I'm sorry. Yeah, the acting was like not like
that one. He should have left alone.
I'm a big movie person, but that was one of the first ever movies, bro. I watched halfway. I'm like, I can't do this no more. Yeah. I just didn't finish it.
That was just one. There's just certain stuff. Like, not saying that LeBron can't do a good movie. He's done a couple, and they haven't really been that great. But not saying that he doesn't have the potential. I'm sure he's gonna have more movies come out in the future. But certain movies you just leave alone, because the pressure of Space Jam was already there before. Like, them just announcing that there's gonna be a Space Jam 2, there's automatically like pressure. Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean?
And I feel like people put a lot of. I feel like people put, even though I just said the thing about LeBron, but it's not really, I'm going to go back on it, it's not really even LeBron's fault, or even like these actors who make the like so-called bad movies, it's not even really the actors' fault sometimes. It's really just screenwriters, the people who be writing these scripts. Yeah. Like be saying the wildest things on the script.
It's like, bro, did y'all go back and like tap in with the original movie at all, or did they just do a remake to please the current world,
right, to keep the franchise alive, and keep it updated in this generation?
But that the thing is like I said with that one, the reason, not even the movie, like forget the movie, the reason why they should have left it alone is because Space Jam by itself is still relevant, still sells. Like, everybody still knows Space Jam, you know what I mean? So like, for them to like go in, make another one, make new merch, do this, do that, that's cool. I understand it's a money grab, but y'all was still making money off the original Space Jam. Yeah, I didn't really have to, it wasn't needed.
It's all marketing, because at that time and point, LeBron just got, I think at that time and point, he like would just got on the Lakers. And
I definitely know it was for the bread. I respect it, because I know he got a big bag off of that. Yeah, he got a good. So I respect that part. Like I said, I don't have no problem with with him playing it. It's just like the directors, like you said, or the script writers. It's like, y'all should have left that one alone.
Yeah, there's a lot of franchises out there that they could have just left it alone. And I'm trying to think some other ones, but it's just like, bro, you don't need to drag it on. We already get the story of it. We get the point. Just don't keep forcing it. But a lot of music actually has been coming like on the coming out this year. I know I just seen a clip of Travis the other day. He's playing. I think he's playing to drop Utopia this year. Hopefully.
Yeah. He said it's dropping.
He said it's dropping this year. But
Rihanna says she's cooking up music too, because everybody was giving her backlash.
Oh, for the
not even about the halftime show. They were just saying, like, obviously we know she was pregnant, and the halftime show, it is what it is. But they were saying she did the halftime show and she's not putting out new music. Like they thought that she just did it, you know what I mean? And she's like done with music, but she says she's in the studio. So we don't know. When people at that level say that they're dropping something, just like Travis with Utopia, you don't know when it's coming. But
yeah, because Sicko Mode came out 2018, 2019.
Yeah, I think 2018.
2018, and we're in
so it's 5 years ago.
5 years ago. So I mean, when you're an artist at that That's the thing. So like, if you're an artist and you're at that caliber, I understand. Okay, you don't have to drop an album every year.
Yeah.
You know, like J. Cole, like he doesn't drop an album every year, but he's at that caliber where he doesn't have to.
Look at Kendrick. Look how long he took off. But see, Kendrick's whole thing, because he said it from the beginning when he came out, he said he doesn't rush projects. He said he may take 5 or 6 months on one song.
Yeah.
So like for Kendrick, and then for him to still win Album of the Year at the Grammys, it tells you like, nah, he put work in. And like, you know, like obviously that's still your generation, but like your generation, the sound is still a little bit different. So like a lot of people from your generation are like, oh nah, that shouldn't have won Album of the Year. It's like, bro, music, like the storytelling in the album and all of Kendrick's music is crazy. Like the messages, the inner messages that's within it, like behind the lyrics, like he'll spit something and then he'll make you think about it and you won't even pick that up for like another month. Yeah. Like what he said. And that's what like goes into like making a fire ass album.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, man. Like I feel like one of the hardest things for a rapper and artist in general is just stay relevant. And I feel like one of the biggest things with that too is like being able to do multiple things. So like for example, right, being able to produce different types of music. Drake, Lil Uzi. Like a lot of people don't give like Uzi enough credit, bro, but he puts out a lot of different type of music. He puts out drill music, he puts out dancing music, clubbing music.
See, the thing is, it's not even about the music anymore. Like you said, these guys have to stay relevant. And they're staying relevant without music. Yeah. Look at Rihanna.
Yeah.
Look at Uzi. He's on every fashion blog just as much as look at ASAP.
Yeah.
He's relevant like more now because he's with Rihanna, but like he hasn't dropped music and he dropped the album maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. I think like right before COVID he dropped something.
Yeah, he dropped something. I wasn't
but
a
like
huge fan though.
These guys don't have to. They don't have to though. That's the thing. Like ASAP Ferg. When's the last time he dropped?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's like Schoolboy Q. There's like a ton of people you can name that haven't dropped, but they're still like. They're still relevant. We know who they are. You still see them at like all the award shows. You still see them on the blogs and stuff like that. But like nowadays, it's just like how we were talking about last week with the NBA. You don't necessarily like. There's other ways to stay relevant and make money. Outside of like your main thing that you're famous for.
And I feel like that's a newer generational thing nowadays. I feel like back then, this is my personal opinion, but I feel like back then most artists would just stick to like. This is my profession. I'm an artist. I'm a like, you know, focus mostly in this. Not to say they weren't doing other things, but I feel like back then it was more one way thing. Nowadays, like you said, Uzi and Drake, they do all the Vogue, the magazines. Rihanna did the Vogue.
There wasn't back then. It wasn't as like social media wasn't as big as it is now. There wasn't as many outlets. So you got to keep that in too. It's like if you got on for being a rapper, like that's what you got on for. Yeah. So you're not gonna get, you know, a fashion commercial. You're not gonna get, you know, a Pepsi commercial. You're not gonna get those type of things because back then they wasn't really pushing that social media, the media like that. Nowadays, like you can like look at Offset and Cardi B, McDonald's. Look at all the collabs like these different companies and brands do now. So it's definitely a lot more. It's actually easier now to stay relevant without your main craft.
And I feel like a lot of more companies nowadays are being more welcoming with influencers and stuff like that. I feel like back then certain companies weren't really like, you would have thought like, would you imagine McDonald's picking up NWA? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like obviously that period of time was different for colored people in music, but I'm just saying in general, like companies weren't as welcoming as they are now to the like influencers, and
they didn't know how to market them.
They see the huge impact that these artists, athletes, all these influencers have on the generation and like the new generation.
That's the easiest way to spend your money when you're $1 billion company like that. Because back then, like they were running ads and commercials and stuff like that because people were listening to the radio, people were watching TV, and people weren't even really watching TV for ads as much as they do now. Yeah. Not too many people watch TV for ads now, but I mean, you still see hundreds of thousands of commercials on a day-to-day basis. And then you have like people talking about like I said, like the McDonald's deal and this deal. It's like if I run $1 billion company, why am I gonna go spend $4,000 a month for a billboard.
Yeah.
When I can pay Offset and Cardi B whatever they got paid, give them a meal, and anybody that fucks with Offset and Cardi B is gonna go to McDonald's.
No, it's a smarter way of going about. You're gonna
same thing with Travis. Same thing with all these deals like Jack Harlow and New Balance. It's like it's the same thing. Like you just pay the influencer, pay the celebrity or whoever it is, pay them, give them a deal, let their following become your following.
That's how the company survives, though. Like the new generation is what you're looking forward to. So like if you're a McDonald's, you want to make sure that you're putting your money into an influencer. Like you said, instead of doing the billboard route, put the money into the influencer that has control, but has the attention of the newer generation. Because that newer generation, that is the generation that's going to keep you in business. Yeah. So you have to, I mean, not to say you give up on the older generation, but you have to keep the business thriving.
Not even just that. Like, that's a big part of it. But the other part is that you give, like, a celebrity or you give somebody a deal, they're marketing you all the time. It's not just like, oh, such and such did this commercial and that's it. Like Kawhi Leonard, he's with New Balance. He wears New Balance. So when you see him, he has on New Balance. LeBron, you see him, he has on Nike. Like, you could see him at the grocery store. He probably has Nike on. I mean, I'm sure LeBron don't go to the grocery store, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, whenever you see these people, they're, like, marketing at all times.
Yeah.
So instead of, like a billboard, like I said, you pay for a billboard, and it's up. Like, you pay monthly or however much it costs, and it's up, and it's in that one location. You pay an influencer or a celebrity or anybody in sports, whatever, they're moving around. They're humans. They're moving around on a day-to-day basis. So they're advertising and marketing. You just seen Shaq. I don't know if you've seen Shaq at the All-Star weekend.
Yep.
What's his name? Guillermo from ESPN, the short Spanish dude that be like making jokes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
He came up to Shaq and he was being funny and he had a pizza and Shaq was like, nah, it ain't Papa John's. Because Shaq is part owner of Papa John's.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's just like
it's marketing. It's smart marketing.
It's marketing all around. It's not just in one location. It's like an everyday thing.
I was thinking about when we was talking about music recently too, and just to go back on it, one of the things that kind of annoy me with music, especially like with the generational thing too, is when you have a high caliber artist and they drop like for example, I'm a huge Lil Baby fan. He's probably like one of my top 5 like artists I listen to. But like his recent album, I'm gonna be honest, his recent album wasn't what you would assume a Lil Baby album would be. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people kind of put like, oh nah, it's a banger, Like I feel like a lot of people give credit. I mean, well, he's Lil Baby, so he's gonna get the credit whenever he's gonna get it. But I'm saying like they kind of exaggerate on like the quality of music. I feel like sometimes not a lot of artists really like put a lot of quality into the music.
I mean, I agree with you to a certain extent. I would say, to add on to that, is that I wouldn't say it's the quality. It's when you make a hit or you're known for making hits and then like now you prolong an album, you may think it's great. Like I'm sure he spent a lot of money. He put a lot of time into the production and selecting the beats and everything, but it's just an added pressure. It's just an added pressure that comes with it, like Travis Scott, like with Astroworld. It's kind of like Astroworld 2. It's probably best that doesn't drop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just certain stuff that like once it drops and it's like a banger, it's hard to like repeat that. Or it's gonna be a different vibe. Like Drake, like all his albums, I wouldn't say all his albums are fire, but I wouldn't say all his albums are like the same or the best.
No, they like
have different vibes, different sounds, different scenarios, different time in the world.
And I think that's probably the better way of me. You kind of brought that out. The better way of me explaining it. Maybe I didn't mean the word quality, but I'm saying like difference. Like when I was listening to the album, like him, another like big artist, A Boogie, like he's been dropping tracks and art and like albums, but it hasn't been different. It's been the same. Like the album sounds very similar. If I skip through all the songs, it's gonna just sound like one giant song to me, Yeah. So I feel like the making your music sound different is like I was talking about earlier, a big thing. Like Uzi, he makes music, but it sounds different.
It's also not what you're gonna expect from an artist. Like, you like Lil Baby for a certain sound, and then obviously he has to evolve. He has to get, you know, new followers. He has to get new people to listen to his music.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be, you don't really want the same sound every album, every song.
That's what I'm saying.
So like when somebody announces an album, you're thinking Lil Baby, like this first couple mixtapes Lil Baby, or the first album Lil Baby. That's kind of how your brain is already like programmed to expect what's going to be on the album. And then he's going a different route, or he's getting better. He's getting, you know what I mean? He's changing his music as he gets older.
But like for me, like I'm a big person, especially with music, to like be open for like different, just to be different. Like I'm always a type of person to be like, look at a half glass full type of person. But I mean, still, like I feel like sometimes like I don't know. It's a hard topic to really talk about, because like it's like you don't really know what the artist is going through. You don't know what they're gonna.
It's
you
also
don't know what
timing.
they're putting into it. Timing. It's a whole bunch of other factors.
Lil Baby been dropping. We was talking about this before.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take a break. You know what I mean? Because maybe like you said, his newest album wasn't his greatest.
It was decent.
It was good, but it's like it's not as good as you wanted it to be, or like what people expected it to be, or whatever. And that's what happens when you're like doing a ton of features, you're on a ton of hits back to back to back to back to back. Sometimes it's better to take a hiatus, like Kendrick, or like Rihanna, and do other things and then come back to the music, because then people like they're gonna be more receptive to it. You know what I mean? Because you've been gone for so long, you're like, nah, I need whatever's gonna drop, I need it. Same thing with Travis. Whatever he drops, whether you like it or not, so many people are waiting for it and they're ready for it because he took so much time off. It's like the anticipation thing.
And
so
it's crazy because it's like a correlation. Like we were talking about in the beginning with the music, we were saying how certain artists don't really like they drop, but it's like a period of time. It's like they take a while. But then there's another other side of it where like if you drop high caliber music and it does so well, you want to take your time to make sure the next thing drops really well.
Yeah.
Like you said, Astro is a great example. Astro is one of the most selling albums of the year, or maybe even of time. I know it's up there in the charts, but it's like how do you live up to that hype and drop another banger? Or if not, if it doesn't do as good, people are going to slander you, because there's always haters out there. Two, there's millions of critics, music critics, artist critics, whatever, that are going to criticize whether they like your music or whether they're not. And then they also have a following as well, so it's a snowball effect to where like it's a lot of pressure. But it's facts. I feel like it's smart to take an hiatus, especially like what Kendrick did, Rihanna. I feel like
music is different too now, though.
Yeah.
So like back then, like I know when I was growing up, we were used to albums. Like now, albums don't really matter. It's like a hit or a couple songs. And I don't know if you've seen the Yellow Beezy interview with $1 Million Worth of Game. He was talking about, they asked him like, how much money can you actually make off a hit? And he was saying if it's like a hit, like a smash on the radio, playing in the clubs, you can go on tour, like you can do shows off of that one song. He said you could probably make $4 to $6 million off of a song. You get what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like it's a little bit different now. Like you make like Lil Uzi, he don't gotta drop nothing.
He don't.
I Just Wanna Rock is gonna get him through the summer. It's gonna get him through the summer. He's gonna do shows. You seen he just did the Grammys.
He was at the Philly game in the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
He came out with them.
So it's like you like just that one song. He don't gotta do nothing else. And then what I mean, he's still gonna make whatever money he's making. And then now with the streams, that song is streaming out the roof. So it's just like a different time. You know what I mean? So like a lot of people, when you're a fan of an artist, you look forward to the project. But nowadays projects don't necessarily matter.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it may be like Lil Baby. Like that's one of your favorite artists. Maybe you're not gonna be able to look forward to his album, but when the album drops, I mess with these 4 songs. You know what I mean?
No,
like that.
Like not to slander his album. His album was decent. I'm not gonna say his album was trash. It wasn't trash. It was just like I'm saying, like being able to differentiate yourself.
Yeah.
But not like the music game is different now. People, I feel like it's a lot slower. Like you said, like people take a lot more of their time with it.
It's not all about the music anymore.
It's not.
It's just not. It's about the image.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
It's about the image, and then, like I said, the image is what allows you to get brand deals and sponsorships and all types of other things that allow you to stay at home for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and then pop out when you want, do shows when you want. I mean,
like a Future.
Look at T Grizzly. When the last time he dropped, he's on the gaming. He's not even like worried about music.
That was crazy too. He was talking about the gaming because what I think he was on a pod or an interview. I think it was with $1 Million Worth of Game. It was some interview.
Was on, I think he talked about it on $1 Million Worth of Game a little bit, but he was on Bootleg Kev's
thing.
Yeah.
And Q was basically saying like, bro, like, because they were like, yo, like Grizzly, like you haven't really been dropping no music recently. Like what you been tapped in like recently? And he's like, bro, like the streaming, like the gaming, like the servers. He said, bro, I started a server, right? Because a big thing nowadays too is the with streaming too. It's called like a GTA 5 or GTA RP, like role play. It's basically like, obviously you know the game GTA where you can pretty much do like a lot of things, but it's like it's on PC, so they have mods, so you can be like a police officer. You could do like pretty much anything, but he basically charges. He runs a server, right? He owns a server, and he basically charges you, I believe, to my knowledge, it's like monthly. So they charge you like $50, $40 a month to be in that server, to be able to do the things you can do in that server, be a cop, have a Hellcat, or some wild stuff. And he's basically making that $50 to $40 off one person times, he's like, oh yeah, I got like 50,000 to 100,000 people in my server. So you do that times that.
Yeah.
That's bread right there without even having to touch the mic.
Yeah.
So like you're saying, a lot of artists nowadays, they don't really have to. Like they if you start off as an artist or a musician, that's what you're mostly known for, but that's not your only outlet of like, keeping your name alive and building up your image.
Yeah, a lot of people, we was talking about it with sports, a lot of people use that one thing to get to a certain level, and then you can do whatever you want. Look at AB, Antonio Brown. It's like he made his money in football. I don't know if a team will let him come back. I don't know if the NFL will let him come back. I mean, he's still young enough to play. I'm pretty sure. I don't know, like, if he's in football shape. I'm pretty sure he's in decent shape, but I don't know if he'd be ready to go when the season starts. But he does music. He does, appearances. He does podcasts now. It's like he still made a name. Like, you just know him as Antonio Brown. Like, we're all going to know him as Antonio Brown, the wide receiver, but now it's just AB.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't know what he's going to do, what's going to happen next. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of, like, with this generation and just like social media and all these other outlets that's out there, it's kind of like, okay, cool, I'm good at this is going to get me in the door, and then I can do this and this.
Yeah, it's really all about getting yourself and getting your name on that spotlight. Then once your name is up there on that spotlight, then you can do that. Like you said, you can do this, that, and the third. But since since he was talking about football, I got a quick question for you. Where do you think Odell's going to go?
I'm somewhere. I don't know. I think Jerry's gonna give him the bag, so I think he's just gonna go to Dallas. It comes down to politics with those type of things, but
he's another person though. He hasn't played.
He doesn't have to come back and play football.
He don't.
They're gonna comment if he doesn't, but because he's so young, he's only 30 years old, so. Or 29. I don't even think he's 30 yet, but he doesn't have to. He has a Nike deal. He chills with all the celebrities. But he's in the mix with fashion.
I thought he got into like an altercation with Nike for something. Didn't he get into some trouble with Nike or something?
Happened. Oh yeah, he may not be with Nike.
I don't think
anymore.
He's with Nike no more, bro.
So I think he left. Yeah, you're right. So I think he left Nike. Something was going on with his deal or his contract, or he didn't get paid. Something within the deal went left. And he's not with Nike, but I mean, he can go sign. He can probably sign with whoever he wants.
Oh no, he's still Odell Beckham. So like, he still has
sign
a name
with whoever he wants. He can, he could still get paid off of appearances. He could still do, podcast shows. Like he can kind of do whatever he wants. Like you said, it's about getting once you get your foot in the door, then that's when you become a business person or an entrepreneur, and you kind of, I like this. I always been into this. I'm gonna do this, or I like that. Like Wiz, like a lot of people talk shit about Wiz. Wiz is one of my favorite artists because when Wiz came out, nobody was fucking with Wiz. He was dropping mixtapes every month, bro. Like and if you really go back and do homework, Wiz was one of the first rappers to do like YouTube vlogs.
Really?
Yeah. Go look up Day Today's. That was like his series name. It was called Day Today's, and he would drop a vlog every week, bro.
Damn.
Every week, like on the tour bus, on tour, kicking it, going to get food. That's how Wiz got on. He was dropping vlogs of him moving around, and then obviously he made music. So he was dropping vlogs and mixtapes every month. Every month he was dropping something.
Damn.
And then obviously he's a weed head, so Wiz is making millions in cannabis
Of
now.
cannabis, yeah.
He doesn't have to drop any music.
Yeah.
He still has Taylor Gang, so he has other artists signed to him that are working and getting shows and getting placements and stuff like that. So it's kind of like you get to a certain point. It's also how long you've been in the game too.
Yeah.
He been in the game long enough to not have to drop music regularly.
him.
Because a lot of people, you see them still dropping music, and I don't want to bash anybody, but like people bring up Eminem a lot. Why is Eminem he should not have to drop music. And if you listen to some of his newer stuff, it doesn't sound like stuff that he really wants to drop, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, so at a certain point, it's kind of like when you see guys take off, everybody likes to say, oh, well, that person fell off, or where that person been at. It's like, bro, they probably, most likely, they're still eating. They're just like, they're enjoying their life now.
Yeah.
You've been on tour, you've been in front of the camera, you've been doing all these things in the media for so long. It's like, you're your own person. Who says you can't take 3-4 years off?
Especially because, like, if you have obviously you're at that caliber, you have an accountant, you have an assistant, you know how to save your money.
Yeah.
Like the clip with, it was, what's his name? Ocho Cinco. I think it was with Full Send or the Shannon Sharp one. One of the other, but I think it was a Full Send. He was basically saying, like, they was asking him, like, yo, Shannon, yo, Ocho Cinco, like, you still have a lot of money, or it was something money related, and he was like, yo, like, my net worth might not say that, but like he showed like his bank statement to one of them, and they were like, damn. He's like, yeah, bro, I don't really spend my money like that. Like,
Yeah.
I got my money from this and that and the third, but I save my money, and that's one of the reasons why people like take an hiatus. Like, you make all this money and never smart with it, you invest it, and then you just chill.
You're never really gonna know exactly how much a celebrity or somebody who has money really has. People go based off what they see. So if they don't see you outside, or they don't see you relevant, or at award shows, or you haven't dropped the album, or maybe you're in the professional league, NBA, NFL, you're not playing that well, they assume you fell off or you're not making money.
That or they look up, which is kind of annoying too. They look up on Google like net worth. That's like one of my
Google net worths aren't real.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves, because, like, for example, like, to bring up Drake again, it's like Drake got the award of artist of the 10 years, artist of the decade, and his supposedly net worth on Google is like 200 million. It's
on,
like,
bro,
you think Drake is only worth 200 million, and he's the artist of the decade?
But not even that title has anything to do with his money. Like, that's a big title.
No, I'm
but
saying
that don't
though.
even have nothing to do with like his investments. We don't know all his investments. We don't know. I was watching Club Shay Shay yesterday with Duval. Lil Duval was on there, and he was talking about how like he has his own private jet, but he doesn't have like the big private jets that everybody like gets. He has one of the small ones, like 2 or 3 people can get on there, right? And he was talking about how social media makes people believe like, oh, like, look at Floyd's jet, look at Jeff Bezos' jet, like look at Drake's jet. And he was like, do you know how much it costs to keep that jet? Because a lot of people, obviously, they'll rent the jets. Like, you can go online and look at how much. Like, I've looked it up before. I've seen like $6,000 to $8,000 to rent a flight like from New York to like LA, right? But how much does it cost to own that jet?
Yeah.
So you have the price of the jet. Then you have he was breaking it down. He was talking about
There's probably not employees, but you have
a pilot.
A pilot.
You have to pay a private pilot. You have to pay stewardess. But I'm talking about owning the jet. So that's like, you can get a pilot or stewardess like for any flight. They don't have to be your permanent staff, but like the insurance to store it. Like, it has to be parked somewhere. Gas or oil, whatever it takes. It's like, come on, bro.
About to cop a jet. About to cop a jet and a Hellcat.
People don't understand that. It's like, bro, owning a jet, like, to be an owner of a jet, like Floyd has 2 jets, and he has his own private pilot. So, like, that's Floyd's pilot. Like, if Floyd calls him and he's like, oh yeah, I need to get from here to here, like, it's all set.
Yeah.
That's different type of money. So you're never going to know, like, back to get to our point, you're never going to know off of like a Google search or like what you see on Instagram or social media what somebody actually makes.
Yeah.
I don't know what you make.
Yeah.
You don't know what I make.
Right. It's all private. It's all secluded. People,
yeah, it's like you're never really going to know. You don't know what type of investments a excuse me, a person has. You don't know what type of investments they have, bro.
That shit. Like people
somebody could have like 2 million sitting over here, and you wouldn't even know.
Yeah,
they could be driving down the street like a normal person. You know what I mean? So like when people like look up net worths or like what's this person worth or what's that person worth or what this person has, you don't really know.
People rely too much on the internet nowadays. Like I feel like people really think like the internet is like their golden like egg. I mean, the internet is like one of the biggest things ever to human kind, like the biggest generation thing wise. But I'm just saying like dependability on like finding out like about everyone's business.
Well, it's the biggest outlet to kind of get any type of information that you want.
Yeah.
So then it's like, I just don't understand why people. I mean, I've looked up net worths before. I look up stuff like that, but I'm not like, I'll look it up and it's like, okay, but I don't believe the number that I see.
You have to take it with a grain of salt. That's really what it is.
Yeah. Like, do we really know what type of money Jay-Z has?
No.
Do you really know what Diddy has?
No.
You don't really know. And obviously they've been in Forbes. They're billionaires. We know that, but we don't know how many billions. Kanye, you don't really know how much money Kanye got.
Kanye is different.
Yeah, you really don't know like how much money people really have.
And the crazy thing is too with wealth is like, yes, like $1 billion is a shit ton of bread. But I've seen this video where like that's not even like close to like there's like Dubai princes and kings that are worth close to trillions of dollars. Like like just money you can't even fathom, bro. Yeah. And it's crazy like what we think. I mean, obviously, like I said, $1 billion is $1 billion. It's a lot of money. But if you're going off the globe,
$1 million is a lot of money.
Even $1 million is a lot of money.
Because Duval was talking about that. He was talking about how like when he was coming up, obviously I think he's like 45. So when he was coming up, basically like 90s is when he got into the comedy game. He was saying like everybody's goal, was to be a millionaire. He was like, now you hear guys talking about like billions. And he was like, a lot of people don't really understand how hard it is to become a billionaire. And then when you look at like, at least in our community, the black community, how many people are actually billionaires, it's not a lot of people.
No, it's not.
It's not. There's people that we don't know. Like obviously they put like Rihanna's a billionaire, Jay-Z. Those are people that we know or we see regularly.
That's a given.
But like there's people that will never know who they are that are actually billionaires.
Yeah, and that's the craziest thing too. Like, cause like me and Amber were from LA, so like we go out there and like here and there. But like it's crazy. I always find it crazy. But like when you go out there, you've been out there a couple times too. Like when you go out there, like you just drive around and then like there's like just rich ass people, like just not even celebrities, but just people that just are rich as fuck that just drive around like normal people. You would imagine, if they're rich, they have to have some name towards them or something like that. It's like nah, like
not necessarily.
There's people out there, bro, worth like you said millions and billions, but they're just chilling. They don't really do the celebrity and the name stuff. You
only really know those people because whatever their occupation is like it's in front of a camera. Or they're an athlete, or whatever the case may be. There's doctors that are millionaires. I don't know about any billionaire doctors, but I'm sure most doctors are millionaires. Top doctors are millionaires for sure.
Brain surgeons and all
lawyers,
DAs.
You know what I mean? So it's like people got to stop. People got to stop like trying to justify what somebody makes or how much they make. Like it doesn't matter, bro.
Yeah. And
you're never really gonna know.
Yeah.
You're never really gonna know.
Let me ask you this, since we talking about wealth and money, if you got given $1 million right now, what would you do? Because to be fair, $1 million nowadays isn't a lot. So I mean, $1 million is a lot of money, but
it's a lot. It's not enough. A lot if you don't know what to do with it.
That's true. So like let me see what you would do with $1 million.
I mean, it's not something that I've actually like really tried to think about, but I would say, I mean, realistically, I'm not going anywhere for probably a week or two. I just need my brain to process, because when you get, that large amount of money, or like the most money, it doesn't even have to be $1 million, but like the most money you've ever seen in your life, 1 million things go through your brain.
Yeah.
So I would just have to sit and honestly try not to think about the money for like a week or two, and then I would go in. Obviously, I'm gonna look into some residual income, like any type of investments where the money I can invest a portion of money and it can continue to make money for me for the rest of my life. That's gonna be like number one, so that regardless of that million, because the million's gonna be gone.
Oh, a million goes quick. If you know how, if you don't, like you said, if you don't know how to invest it, bro, a million go quick.
Yeah, so I would look into like index funds and like stuff like that, investments where I know, okay, if I put X amount of dollars here, it's going to grow for the next 40, 50 years and I don't even have to do anything. So that's going to be the first thing. And then, that's probably the most important thing. And then I don't know. Like with the business, I don't know. Open a bigger store. Buy as much product as I want. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a ton of things.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna stick with the smart answer, which is invest wisely.
Yeah, I would probably, if I got the million, bro, I'd probably do the same thing. I'd probably just, because like if you think about it, right? Your average, your life, right? For the average person, you're not granted just $1 million just consistently unless you're rich.
Yeah.
So for the average people like us, like when you're given that $1 million, you have to make sure you're going to get $2 million the next year or whatever the case may be, because this is your chance to really help your wealth and help you with your situation. So I would, like you said, do something that's going to be residual, property, bonds, stocks, stuff like that. Invest it to where that money will grow and make me more money.
Yeah, and nowadays with any large amount of money like that, you gotta think about like shit like COVID. Like if you put your money in a certain place, like what would a national disaster, how would that affect your money? You know what I mean? Because just because you invest your money, like the stock market, I mean, I'm pretty sure people lost tons of money during COVID, stock market and investments and different things like that. So it's definitely about putting your money in like smart investments. You know what I mean? Like stuff like shit, how people get into not even crypto, but just like NFTs and like just more digital media stuff that, you know, something in the real world can't really affect.
Yeah, that's
you know
smart.
What I'm saying?
I never thought about that.
Because you got to think like that now, because it's like, shit, another COVID breakout or anything like that happen, bro, it's going to be bad.
But it's crazy, though, because during COVID, like, it was, I'm trying to remember, like, it was I think it was like people were buying low, because I think the market like hit low during COVID, and then like it spiked or something wild. So like you gotta pay attention. You gotta even like educate yourself, or even have an assistant who knows this type of stuff to really help you put yourself in a better place.
Yeah, I mean, nobody can really predict like the future, like what's gonna happen.
No.
But like any type of investment or any type of thing where you moving money around, especially large amounts of money, you want to make sure that it's smart, because it's all about longevity.
Yeah.
Any type of investments you want to make long term. Like people like making short term investments, but me personally, I'm about longevity. So I'm gonna look for like long term. Like I'm 30 years old. Like, how much is this going to make me by the time I'm 70? Like, what type of bag am I going to have sitting, waiting for me at 70, 80?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about, like, when I get that age, what's my financial situation going to look like?
And, like, I feel like, I mean, obviously this is going to be a generic-ass statement, but saving your money is, like, one of the best things you can do. Like, I was watching a TikTok the other day, bro, and I'm trying to remember who it was from, but it was from somebody. And he was saying, like, if you don't save your money, if you don't save your money, you're always going to be broke.
Yeah.
He said, if you don't save your money, you're always going to be broke.
Saving money is also one of the hardest things to do, too.
It is, especially with time like this, with freaking, I'm trying to think, like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's blanking me.
What, like, just like COVID and stuff like that?
Not COVID,
Recession?
Tyler. Inflation, thank you. Yeah, with inflation and shit, bro, everything's spiking up, because, like, your average inflation rate is, like, 2%. And I think as of right now, we're, like, 8. So, like, we're, like, spiked crazy, so you have to pay attention to shit like that. And it's a whole, and, like, life's a gamble in general. Life's a gamble in general. You never know. So you got to just prepare yourself for the worst.
It's also, like, living within your means. Like, a lot of people, like, and I mean, I'm not perfect. I don't necessarily live within my means, but, you know, with the way the world is now and the way stuff changes, it's like you got to get simpler and simpler with what you buy, what you pay for, stuff like that. Like, that's why a lot of people don't have cable. A lot of people, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that people cut back on now, and it's like, all right, in this day and age, this generation, what do I really need?
That's facts.
You have needs and then you have wants.
I wonder if people really still watch. I mean, that's going to be a dumb question, but like, I feel like it's my newer generation that really is not tapped into cable like that.
I mean, there's a ton of people still tapped into cable because otherwise there wouldn't be no cable companies.
Well, I'm saying like yeah, but I'm saying like I want to know
the cable companies have streaming. So
I want to see like the percentage of people that really be watching like generic TV. Like in my mind, this is my opinion, because like in my mind, I feel like the only reason I would have cable is literally for sports. Anything else you can really watch off the internet, movies, like TV shows.
Yeah.
Like, sports is one of those things that I feel like you have to have cable for.
But now the streaming companies have, you know, Fox and those, the ESPN, they have those under it. So it's like, it's what it is. However they connect or disconnect from like cable to streaming, where it's just under the internet, it's still kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, because I was thinking about it, like people like, oh yeah, I don't have cable anymore, I stream. But it's like, bro, you're still paying you still have to pay something to get that, like those channels, any of that.
I was talking to a couple of people about it. Like, nowadays the cable companies go up and up and up on the rates, like on the prices a month.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, everyone's bill's different, but I'm gonna just say your average cable bill with internet and cable is like around $200. Say $200 a month.
Yep.
But like, it's like I hear people, they're like, yeah, I don't have cable. Like you said, I don't have cable, but I got internet and my bill's like $150 or like $120. It's like you're still paying a lot of money you're still paying a lot of money to the cable company. That's why they're still in business. Whether they sell you a cable box or not, bro, you still need internet. And internet is like the hub of everything. You need internet. So that's like one of the things.
And the thing is, you could stream, but it's still, there's always going to be an app or something that you don't have that you need.
Yeah.
Like Netflix, Hulu, there's still going to be something. So like your cable bill and your streaming, it could be like $80 a month, and you're like, oh, I'm good. I got internet. I got, you know, like Hulu has live TV, like most of like Apple TV, they got different stuff like that. But then it's always going to be something that you want to watch or something that you're always going to still have to pay for.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like preference.
That's true. But like you said earlier, it depends on the person's lifestyle. Like everyone's lifestyle is becoming a little bit more simpler. So like depending on you, like. For me, if I were to move out and get my own crib, like I wouldn't get cable. I just get straight internet and still pay a grip a month, but I still get internet. And for the amount of, so like if you think about it, if you calculate it, right? Let's say you do, like I said earlier, your average cable was like $200 a month, right? They're gonna charge you, let's say, $120 a month, $100 a month for internet, and then by the time you have Netflix, Hulu, Disney Prime, Paramount Plus, or Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, like it's going to be close to that 200 mark anyway. So you're still paying.
Be the same.
Yeah, because I watch a lot of streaming, and I pay like $50 to $60 in streaming stuff because like they charge you $8, $5, but like it's still, the math still adds up.
The only difference or benefit I would say between the two is that like cable, they try to lock you into a contract, and then when your contract's up, the rate goes up. Streaming, I think they kind of do the same thing too. Like Netflix went up. I don't know how much Hulu or any of those other apps cost individually. So eventually everything goes up, but you're not like locked into a contract.
Yeah.
So
you can cancel at any time. And it's crazy because, bro, Netflix has been on this for so long, but they're swearing up and down that they're gonna cut the password sharing shit. What you like think about that? Because like, how are you gonna really cut like if I give you my email, my password?
People that really want to finesse still gonna finesse.
Yeah.
Bro. It doesn't really matter what they cut off or whatever. Because the thing is like I have Netflix, but it's like with my cable.
Yeah.
So I don't even have a password. Like I turn my TV on and Netflix is on.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, what do you do for those people? I don't even know how those people are able to share. I'm pretty sure there's still like a login or a password associated with the account, but it's like, if you ask me my Netflix password, or you was like, yo, James, let me get your password, I don't know what it is.
I think the one way they're trying to look at doing it, and if you ever noticed it, it's with like how Apple Music does it. So if you notice, like the basic plan Apple Music, they would just went up too recently. It's like $10.99. But how they basically do it is like they charge you for amount of users. So like if I'm playing my music on my MacBook and then I play it on my iPhone, one of them's gonna cut off and saying like, nah, like your plan is strictly for one user. So I'm thinking that's what I'm kind of thinking, like they're gonna have it to users where if they notice that two more users are logged in, they'll probably be like, nah, like you got to pay this streaming amount every month to have that extra user or something like that.
Yeah, which goes back to what we was talking about, which is streaming versus cable. It's all gonna add up. It's preference.
It's preference. Like in my mind personally, like I said, I only have sports for cable, and like we say, technology it changes every year. There's something always new, like you said, something always new to get. So, like, I feel like, obviously, in the future, there's going to be something that maybe might cut out cable. You may not need a cable box or have to pay a cable provider for something.
Even with sports, like, I would say cable is not... It depends on what cable provider you have, but for sports, cable is not even the best route. Streaming is a better route because you can get more, like, games. Like, locally, you're only going to get whatever's in your region, like, whatever's in your area. Like, we get, like, Giants... Jets, Patriots for football. You know, you get Boston, you get Celtics, Knicks, Nets for basketball. So on streaming, you can download or purchase like the NFL app, or like there's other apps that you could get where you can get different games.
Yeah, even like,
but you got to pay for that too.
I feel like a lot of companies are resorting to like subscriptions now. Like every company, I feel like I know, is doing like the subscription wave. Like you said, like the NFL and the NBA app. You can literally watch NBA games off your phone, off the NBA app if you pay them. Like I seen it. It's like some certain subscription a month.
Yeah. So I feel that's still a scam because it's still based off of where you live.
You think so?
No, I know so, because I was about to download the app. I was going to download NFL app, right, to try to get the game. My team is the Panthers, so that's North Carolina. We're nowhere near North Carolina.
Right.
So once I logged in, I think they let you do like a free trial, like a 3-day trial or a week trial, whatever. Once I logged in, and then I tried to like go to the game that I wanted to watch, it said not in your region.
Really?
And the only games that was available was like the Giants, the Jets, the Patriots.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's like another way around it. You know, I'm not tapped in like that. So maybe is something else you gotta do or whatever, or pay a little bit more to get all the games. But
because how I would think of how they would work is like most of this shit like Amazon Prime, that's through internet, so you can watch certain like the Thursday games, the Prime games are on through your internet. So I'm thinking like when if you pay the whatever subscription, if it's through internet, you can watch all the games. You know,
maybe with the free trial, it wasn't letting me get all the games. Maybe you got to purchase and get all the games. So I don't know, but regardless, like you were saying, you got to pay an app, you got to pay a cable provider,
you got to pay somebody.
So
you got to pay something.
It's all it's all a scam. It's all a scam, bro.
It's all a scam.
It's all a scam. But yeah, I want to wrap it up. But let's tap into this real quick. What's like the pod? We got the new setup, looking good. We're gonna do a couple other little things with our setup. But what's next for the flight show? What we trying to get into?
Shit,
we going into spring. We're always looking for guests. We're looking for business owners, shop owners, entrepreneurs, anybody doing their thing. You got a brand, you got a clothing line, you sell products, whatever it is, definitely tap in with us. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere. And, you know, tap in because we trying to bring other people on. We like to talk business. We like to do all that.
The plans for the flight show, man, just keep doing our thing. You seen the setup. Y'all know y'all rock with the setup. Like you said, get some more people up here. It'll be a dope show. And, you know, we'll be glad to see you.
Guess that's it. Appreciate y'all. Gonna catch y'all next week. It's the flight show.
We out.